Good evening everyone, welcome to another tournament stream. Today I'm streaming day 2 of the EU Service Spring Season Professionals Tournament. That is quite a mouthful, but yeah. Right now, there's a whole bunch of streams going on, and if you want to watch the coin stream, you have to watch it through the portal. That is not my stream tonight. Tonight it is Fugit's stream, and he is going to be streaming Appa versus Veil, followed by Souls versus Loka. So that is what's going on the portal. And like I said, yeah, you have to watch that through the portal if you want to get season coins. My stream will not give you season coins tonight, and you will just have to live with that. So right now we are waiting for the room invite to pop up. But in the meantime, Rip is streaming Raid versus Immor and later on Raid versus Legion. And Every Good Name is Taken will stream EG versus Loka, followed by EG versus versus Appa, sorry. So all in all, we're going to have a great game because I have Souls versus Legion, followed by Immor versus Veil. That will just be great fun. Souls already arriving, Legion not yet, but they've plenty of time. 4.5 minutes left to go before we actually go into the battle, and we are kicking it off on Middelburg. Let me grab that map for you real quick. Middelburg looks something like this. You have 3 bases, 2 in the town, 1 in the hill area, and basically I love the positioning around the hill area, but when it's supremacy you do have to dominate 2 bases generally. Not necessarily cap 2 bases, but you have to dominate 2 bases, and that is easier in the town than it is in the hills because of all the buildings and everything. All in all, we have seen some super heavy action on this map that has worked quite well, but oh my god, someone's wall of texting in the chat, but yeah. But that is the map that we will go to, and I'm kind of wondering what we'll see, because earlier today we saw actually in the red spawn, as you see it here, that 2 tanks actually started on the top and 5 down below, whereas on the green spawn it's 6 down below and 1 at the top, unless of course you have more mediums, then it's different. But then we had a mouse start in red spawn too, and that did not really work out well. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I have a feeling that these teams will not be that super heavy-ish on their lineups, especially not with what we're seeing that they're readying up in. I'll take away the map so it's no longer blocking your screen. And we still have 3 minutes left to go before we go into the match, so that is plenty of time. And we see that Souls is now completely ready up with a T22 medium, 2 E5s, 2 Sheridans and 2 IS4s. And Legion has not quite readied up yet. But we see NG already in the Sheridan and Juicy and Vano in the IS4s. Overall, if they go with this, it's a pretty similar lineup, minus the fact that they would not take a 1 E5 less and a Sheridan less. Well, no, actually, they also have the second Sheridan. But yeah, there we go. People are steady readying up. But still over 2 minutes left to go. So again, plenty of time. This is basically why there is a 5-minute delay on the stream. And that is to avoid anyone seeing anyone's lineup. But it also means that we have quite some waiting time before the match actually starts. So we just have to be a little bit patient here. Basically, the teams need to ready up, and then we need to wait for the game to get ready too. Blackmail Bear is posting whole walls of text. I have no idea what he's talking about, honestly. But at this point, it would almost be considered spam. A minute and a half left to go. Only Egging and Radicals now. There you go. Legion is going with 2 E5s, 3 IS4s and 2 Sheridans. So it will be interesting to see what they do with that. Like I said, it is a similar lineup. The only difference is that one of Souls is taking a T22 medium versus an IS4 from Legion. But it kind of goes to show that the top teams will generally take similar lineups for similar maps. This is, however, a lineup that is sort of universal. It applies to quite a few. Oh god. Hang on, I've got to mute this guy. There we go. Eggy has unreadied, probably changing camo or loadout. And for some reason YouTube does not like me much. Here we go. 10 seconds left. Here we go into the very first game of this evening. Legion versus Souls. I will just have fun with it. Angie actually coming to the stream to say hello. Even though he's like loading. Actually, he's not lined up right now. So he's probably going to be watching this. Assuming he does not get put into the team later on. I always mix up Eggy and Angie. Because the names are so similar in how you see them. It's very easy to misread them. But here we go. Let's see what's going on. And where are they gonna go? A Legion going into the hills with the Sheridans. Or at least Whoopsie is. And we see a Vel Rider and F3 doing the same thing Daku does there. But all of Souls is going into the hills. And though Calicti did get some damage, he did not actually get spotted. And that might mean that Legion could potentially be in trouble. Sultan is now capping the base though. Dakudas and Whoopsie both in a position to excellently use their missiles. If they don't bounce. Oh, that one did not bounce. That is quite a big hit to take this early in the game. And now Souls has a base. And Legion will have to get that advantage back somehow. Pan is going back towards the hill. And we see missiles flying left and right and doing quite some damage here. And at that distance, that seems to be like the ideal distance for missiles. I'm not sure how that works. Ooh, Whoopsie not hitting that. But Juicy has to be careful. Missiles are slow, so you can avoid them. But it is tricky business. And Legion not in the best of position. It is literally a 4-3 formation on both sides. And Legion seems to be going in. Don Vano is losing so much HP though. And they are going after the E5s. And they kind of have to push through and push hard and make sure all their shots count. Because Whoopsie is now losing a lot of HP. I'm going to take you up and over. There goes Whoopsie. He is the first one out. This seems to be a pretty failed push because Don Vano is going to be gone next reload of anyone. And Dakudas goes as well. It is 4 versus 7. The one-shots are still alive and that is the biggest issue here. Juicy taken out as well. 3 versus 5. And we see a missile Eggy getting hit badly and then being taken out. 2 versus 4, but that is still a lot of guns to have against you. There goes Spawn. 2 versus 3. 2 versus... Well, this would be like an epic Colobano situation, but I have a feeling that Radicals is not going to be able to do this. I'm not sure what caused Legion to do this. Because this is basically a failed push. They lost so much HP pushing over, and then they didn't push in, which allowed the rest of Souls to get behind them. And now it's basically just waiting for Radicals to be taken out. And on the next reload that will probably happen. There you go, and the first game is for Souls. That was a weirdly uncoordinated game from Legion. And Souls just basically absorbing that push and then pincering them. And that worked quite beautifully. So in a minute and a half we go into the second match for this lineup. It is a best of 7, so it's basically all about the team that gets to 4 victories first. And we now see that Souls has readied up in a T22 medium, 2 AMX 50Bs, an E50M, an IS4 and 2 mice. And Legion is almost ready as well. In the meantime, I see that Roland has made it to the chat, and like Kevin says, we all want you back, you're the best. And he is definitely right about that. Donna also ready up, so Legion is ready with 2 IS4s, 3 E5s and 2 Sheridans. And we'll see what happens. We just have to be a little bit more patient. It was a weirdly quick game just now though. All things considered. Kimi is being all enthusiastic. Absolutely love it. And here we go. Countdown clock has begun. We are going into the second game of this matchup, the second game on Middelburg. And here we go. And she is sadly gone. And let's see what's going to happen. Because kinda they need to take it back now. And that can be difficult after that last game. I do hope Legion pull it back together, because they are pretty much one of my favorites for the title this year. They've been so strong. So let's see what's going on. Soul's now focusing on the base A side. IS4 potentially, but not sure, going into the hills. Base A. Shots being fired on the other side. Base A being kept. Base C now being kept. And Object 3 and Eggy are moving towards the hill. Daggera's in a very interesting position here. Not sure how long you would want to be there. And he falls down there. Eggy in a spotting position. Side scraping. They can't really push him well. But Souls has a base advantage here. And that is something that they will want to hold on to. Eggy is still spotted. The AMX is holding at the back. As does the IS4. I think the IS4 is mainly there for bait. Because those AMXs are just hungry. And they are waiting for someone to clip. But overall we see some shots being fired, not a lot of damage being done yet. But Legion does have a slight HP advantage here. It's pretty much negligible though, one good shot. Eggy taking a little bit of damage there. Basically Galacti is in a really good position to bounce missiles and everything. And Legion highly suspects those AMXs, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Mouse being steadily eating away, but I'm very curious what will happen. If Daggerdas manages to get this hit in. It does not, but he does get hit by another tank. And they are not pushing them. But Legion will have to make a move. They will need to get that base advantage somehow. They could potentially go into base B, but it will be very tricky, as probably Souls will move in straight away if they do that. Aggie is still side scraping. being very patient about it. Galaxy losing a little bit more HP with Dakotas now hitting the missile. But we're already at 600 points and this is pretty much stalemate gaming. Legion will have to make a move. The question is what they're gonna go for. If they're gonna go for base B or if they're going to try and take on Galaxy, knowing that those AMXs are there somewhere. Legion now pushing in. They seem to be going for the base and the mice. Base B being taken now. The E50M getting shot. Juicy coming in. But coming quite hot and he is in a very bad position here. He is getting absolutely murdered. E50M not looking too healthy either, but Juicy is not going to survive this. I'm surprised he stayed alive this long, and that's mainly because his own teammates are getting in his way. There you go, that is one mouse out of the way. The E50M is gone. Base B is being kept. Base A is being stolen. And they will need to take these tanks out as fast as possible. That is one. We are at 940 points for Legion. They now have 2 bases. As long as they survive, they should have this. But therein lies the trouble. But with that kill, they actually take it home. More people are dying, but Legion already has it. And the second game is for Legion. Very patient gameplay. Very nice coordinated push. And it was a risky push because they didn't know where all the tanks were. They could guess, but they didn't know. But look at the difference in damage done by both teams. That is saying something. And I think that basically Souls has a sort of panic reaction when base B was being capped. And they pushed in, but they pushed into the line of fire from some of the guns. And the only one that basically got absolutely hammered for his troubles is Juicy. Venom just said Object isn't playing with 268, that's the issue, and NG agrees. But luckily he's remedying that for the next battle, so when we are going to Canal, Object 3 will be in his trusty 268. So let's grab the map just real quick. The map looks like this, yeah, 4 bases, base C and B closest to their respective spawns, A the campy side and D the mat side. Basically, we've seen some epic gameplay where A and B were basically dominated together and they kept C from being kept from that side. And that meant that the team that started in the green spawn on this map here was not able to get the base dominance. And it's led to quite some epic gaming, and I keep wondering if we're going to see that again. We did it on Asia, but Asia's kind of a whole different thing. So I'm wondering if we're going to see that now. So we have Solstice ready up in an E5 and STB, 2 IS4s, a Sheridan, a Leo and a 268, and they're gonna go up against a 268, 2 E5s, an IS4, a T22 medium and 2 Sheridans. Venom also just said, although Legion is stronger today because NG doesn't play. Aww. That is so mean. And here we go into the third game of this matchup of this best of 7. And let's see what they're gonna do with this. I have to say, Matt Willie's avatar, to me it just looks like Darth Vader and Terminator had a love baby. It's supposed to be a Darth Vader kind of thing, but just I can't get over how it looks. So let's see. Souls ignoring base C by the looks of it. Radicals not going into base B. Base D is going to be for Legion alone. There's no one there. The AV getting the base. And Souls now having been spotted crossing over. Radicals has to be careful. He needs to basically not be there. Souls is pushing in. And we see that Legion immediately responding. And for some reason he got away with that. From all shots. AV3 has survived. Base D is being capped. The Radicals has pulled back. Base B is uncappable for Legion. And we have Galaxy at the back. And basically now C is being stolen. If they get away with that, and that's a big if. But they kind of have to take the chance. Dakudas is taking hits. But if they get away with that, that will give them the advantage back, even when they can't have C. Dakudas lost some health for it, but it was so important. And basically now there's still blind fire going on. They have to be careful. Vano and Whoopsie going on one side, Dakudas going back to the other side. To a position where he can launch those missiles. And now Legion has 2 bases. Big hit into Sultan there. And basically they don't really need to take any chances. There's some blind fire going into base C again. And they have to be careful. Blind shot into where they're expecting Galaxy to be. And they're not wrong, they're just slightly off aim. Whoopsie wanted to get more damage. But they kind of just need to play patient now. Legion does not have to take any chances here. They have the bases. They can afford to just wait it out and see what happens. Dakudas here at the back. Basically they're in a position where half the team can support half the team. The only tricky one here is Don Vano and Juicy. But if they have the speed boost they could relocate quite quickly. Juicy getting spotted crossing over. But really, Legion does not have to take any chances here. Juicy arriving where he wants to go. And that means that we have 4/5 tanks on this side. Object 3 crossing over. They are basically just going to let them have base B by the looks of it. And just protecting what they have. Radicals is the only one in a very tricky position, but he can't really get out of there. Unless he drops down. And he's also, that's another hit into Sultan there. But he's also sort of like an early warning system here. If Souls make the push, Radicals will see it. And they already have a 170-ish point advantage here, so they can afford to lose Radicals if they need to. Because they will only get into trouble if Souls is pushing into C and D as well. And now Souls is making the push. Radicals does not know it yet. But there we go. And we see immediately Gengar losing quite a bit of HP. Radicals is not going to survive this. But like I said, they can afford it. And Legion has most of the firepower on this side. They are going after Sultan. Radicals is basically the sacrificial lamb. They can allow him to get murdered. The Gengar is first to go though. Sultan is not far behind. And this is actually brilliant. Like I said, it was Radicals that basically was their alarm clock. And with 913 points, they still have a base. They're going after the 268, who is reloading. I can't even word anymore. They have base D still. Object 3 is now being focused on. Base C is being contended. But base A has been stolen. And Galaxy is getting shot from behind by Whoops. And basically, at this point, there's not much they can do. Aside from stand in the base like this. And then you have 2 Sheridans that are going to get behind you. And that are going to get those shots in you. And that are going to murder you. Oh, or not. And they will have to make sure that they keep base A. Which is definitely going to work. There you go. They still have a base. They still have base A. If Don Vano survives, and that is quite tricky at this stage. But if he does, we are at 973 points. That hit though. That missile hit. And with that kill, they take it home. And Legion gets this match. That was so close. And this is beautiful gaming. This is what I'm doing it for. This is the kind of games that I love seeing. Just that thinking about what your enemy is doing, sacrificing your own, in this case radicals, to just have that early warning and then just fold across the enemy team on the other side, take that bases, and even the 268 going into the base could not prevent them. It was a close call. It was a very close call. But that was awesome. So for the second match on Canal, Souls is ready with an IS-7, 2 AMX-50Bs, a Sheridan and 3 IS-4s. And they're going to go up against a 268, a Foch, 2 IS-4s and 140 and 2 Sheridans. And oh my god, seriously, this kind of games. You cannot wake me up for this. Less than a minute left before we go into the game. And I can't wait to see what is going on. What they're going to do with this. This is much more the Legion as I've been seeing them this season. Even with the troll games and everything. It's that kind of thinking, the patient gaming. It's like watching Mo make the calls. For those who don't know who Mo is, he is of course the caller from Rain from the NA server that got second place in Twister last year. And he is such an epic caller. It is so great to see basically the psychology of the games, not just the skills and the trading, but just the reading the enemy play. It is awesome, I love it. And here we go into the countdown clock, into the fourth match of this matchup, and we'll see what is going to happen. In the meantime, I'm at the point of seeing the blind resets and Dakudas. It was epic, that part as well. And let's see what they're gonna do this time. The thing is, Canal is a pretty symmetric map when it comes to certain positions. And basically now Souls is doing pretty much the same thing they did last time, but now they're sending the AMXs together with one of the IS-7s, well, with the IS-7 towards base A. They're capping base B, and they look like they're gonna get away with it, because those shots are not gonna, and those shots can be very expensive for Legion if those AMXs arrive where they need to be. And it is on base D has now been, not sure what happened there, not sure that was the idea, but Souls now have 2 bases and that can be very tricky. Gengar losing quite a bit of HP here, but so does the Radicals, and they kinda need to get that base, because already they have quite a bit HP advantage and quite a big, oof, nice reset. 268 missing that shot. And there we go. They have the base. But they've lost quite a bit of HP here. And it did not let them get that base back. And now Souls has the advantage. They don't need to make a push here. And they're in a position where base B can't get taken. The AMXs at the back are ready to basically support any site that they will with a full clip, and that is a dangerous thing. The AV3 hiding in the bush there in a way that he can pull back immediately, but we'll be able to get some shots in there. And like I said, it will be up to Legion to make a move. Not much happening at this stage. Not sure where the action will begin. It will begin at some point somewhere. Whoops, going into a location where he can fire missiles at the IS-7 and the IS-4 down below there. He just needs to be careful not to overextend. And they are hiding themselves quite nicely. Missile on the other side as well, with Venom spotting for Dakudas. who also gets spotted, but that is fine. Whoopsie, not going to fire missiles all the way on the other side. We have Juicy and Radicals pushing through the middle. That is always such a dangerous thing to do. That shot did not pen. This is something I'm always, well, not fearful of, but this generally never goes well. When you have missiles flying like that, into positions like that, he is basically in a very bad position here. And I'm not sure it was intended that he would go there. Juicy losing more HP here. Heffalump losing some HP as well. He's going to be the first one out. Oh, but they take massive hits doing so. Don Vano is actually the first one to go. And there goes Heffalump. And they need to get that base. They need to get those points. Gengar taking out. Venom almost gone as well. And he barely survives that. He does land another hit. And they get the base. It is 880 points for Legion. They need to survive if they want this. They could potentially do so though. Especially if these missiles hit. There you go. 965 points. All they need to do now is survive. And they need to get the blip out of there. Base B being stolen back. But as long as he resets it, no, he's going after the AMX. And there goes Radicals. Base A is being kept. Base B is being stolen back. But this is basically it, because with that being stolen back, Legion does not have the chance to win, especially with Base C now being taken as well. It is so close. If they take this, if they kill him, they do! Oh my god, what a game! Again! Guys, honestly, that is epic. This was basically Whoopsie taking a massive risk picking up and over like that. But taking out Willy got them the game. That was absolutely brilliant. And now the pressure is definitely on Souls, because they need to win the next 3 matches in a row to take it home. And Legion only has to win 1 more. So we are going to Dynasty Sprawl. I'll call it up real quick. This is the Panda map. You have base A in the head of the Panda, base B in the chest, and base C in the belly. Basically, positioning around base C is much preferable, in my opinion, than the positioning around base A. But it is a map that can work very well for super heavies. And as you can see, Souls is already taking them. Basically, you have to dominate 2 bases here as well. The map is quite small. And we've seen some beautiful crossfire work going on earlier in, well, both Asia, but also in earlier tournament games on this map. But oh my god. Angie just said, listening to goals is more stressful than actually gaming. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, with half a minute left to go, we are going to the first match on Dynasty Sprawl in the 5th game of this matchup. And Souls is ready up in a T22 medium, 3 IS4s and 3 mice. And they're going to go up against an IS4, an E100, a mouse, 2 E5s and 2 140s. So it will be very curious to see what is going to happen with that. But after these last 2 games, god, they were close. They were beautiful. I'm kind of have high hopes for this one as well. And yes, 2 accounts. Oh my god. Seriously though. And let's see what's going to happen here. Guys, honestly, those matches though. Like, Wargaming often accuses me of not being emotional enough in my streams. I'm only emotional when I see something that is actually worth being emotional about. That was worth being emotional about. God, that was epic. But let's see. Souls focusing on the B and C side. Legion sending the 140s to C, mainly to spot by the looks of it. And the rest of Legion is heading towards base A. Which is a good call because A is mostly neglected and ignored these days. That means that it's basically a free cap. We have object 3, basically Legion pushing through. The 140s getting the blip out of there. They don't need to take a risk. Because they will already have a point advantage just by taking base A this early. Vano taking a little bit of a hit there from one of the mice. But Vault Rider takes a hit back. And object 3 is nicely side scraping. But it does take a hit after all. And another one. Base C has now been taken. But at this stage, that just means that the mice can't really push that way. Vano in a side scraping position, waiting for that hit that he wants to take. And he does take a little bit of HE damage there. But overall, again, Legion has a point advantage of about 1 tank's worth. And we know that they can play very patiently. They just have to be careful not to leave anyone alone. Because that is basically where it keeps going wrong for lineups like this. Not necessarily Legion, but I mean general lineups. It is the leaving 1 tank alone that is costing people their hit points and in the end their guns and their lives. That sounds so dramatic though. Non-Vano pushing back in. Basically, not much going on right now. The mice are slowly pushing in. We have Venom and Eggy pushing. Eggy losing quite a bit of HP. Vano pushing in as well. But he is alone. He is basically the sacrificial lamb here. Legion will have to move fast. Don Vano already taken out. Legion pushing in. Galacty, the preferred target here. Object 3 in a position you really do not want to be. Galacty is going to not survive this for long. There he goes. Base C is being stolen, but Eggy takes a long time to turn around and he is actually deleted before he can. Whoopsie going after the T-22. Legion only having 4 guns left at this stage, which is a lot less than Souls. And we have Willy going after, but Pan Sultan is taken out. Dakudas just almost got obliterated. And there he goes. Basically, Whoopsie not too healthy. The Gengo also not healthy. They are capping the base. They are taking out that gun, which is so important at this stage. But Radicals is not going to be able to finish capping that base most likely. And Venom is not going to survive this much longer. Whoopsie's still alive. Circling Willy. That is sounding so wrong though. Radicals basically chasing after Willy to help Whoops. As Venom is still duking it out with the mice. But bouncing. 920 points. And both of them are gone. It is 2 versus 3. We have a lone mouse arriving. And they will have to basically kill them all quick. But there you go. We are already at 1k points. And Souls has this match. Whew. And now we go into the 6th game of this matchup. I did say that I wanted more games when Kiwi predicted. A score for this matchup. But this is quite close, guys. As a streamer, that is really fun, but I can imagine that as teams, it's really not. So let's see what's going to happen. In 1.5 minutes, we are going into the 2nd match on Dynasty Sprawl. And we have Souls that has readied up in 80, 22 medium, 3 IS4s and 3 mice again. And they're going to go up against 3 IS4s, 2 E5s, 1 140, and potentially a mouse in the form of Eggy. Oh my god. And Juicy is going for in... No. Eggy is moved out, Juicy's moved in, and he's going in mouse. Half a minute left to go before we go into the match. Anything can still happen. But oh my god. These matches, honestly. Love it. It does help if you have a 7 player though. This is not really the thing you want to see. There you go. Angie! There you go. Angie has been moved in. Still a mouse though. And let's see what is going to happen. Whew. These kind of games, I absolutely love it. And let's see. I keep saying that, but I'm kind of excited and... That camo on the mouse though, that looks so nice. That camo looks pretty much nice on everything. I kind of want it on all my tanks. So let's see. Souls again focusing on the base B and C side. Legion now doing the exact same thing. With Dakudas going for a spotting position. And spotting people as they come. And they know that they are here. And basically the mice are going to the middle. First shots being exchanged. Lines of fire. But not much damage being done yet. And basically the mice are arriving at the middle. That could potentially be a problem. With the lines of fire that are now possible. Especially since the mice are just pushing quite brutally. And we have Angie and the mouse pushing at the back, which could potentially be a big problem. Legion losing HP. Angie arriving at the back, activating his adrenaline. HP being lost all around. Dakudas, the preferred target, not looking all too healthy. Base B being ignored in favor of trying to take those bloody guns out. Lines of fire happening all around. Basically we have one giant panda belly full of battles. And they will need to focus fire. They need to help their guns. They need to keep their guns alive. Dakudas not looking all too healthy. It is Don Vano that gets taken out first, followed by Galacti, followed by Dakudas. Radicals not looking all too healthy either. This is, I'm not entirely certain what... Sultan and Radicals both being taken out. Gengar now next in line. But with NG waiting where he is, that could potentially be a problem. Heffalump going after Object 3. And he takes a big hit there. Really next in line. Heffalump now angled perfectly for facing Object 3. There goes Venom. It is 3 versus 3, but Object 3 is not looking too healthy. And he needs to be very careful. He needs to get the blip out of there. He does survive that hit. Velrider is caught between two guns, but this could be very tricky. You do not want to hug a mouse like that. Velrider taken out, Object 3 taken out. And now it's an IS4 and 2 mice. And a mice versus 2 mice, I should say. And Whoopsie is the preferred target. He literally cannot get out of there. They need to focus on Heffalump here. I'm going to take you a bit lower to show it. And basically, as long as they're shooting the same target, but now AV3 is actually blocking the shot, or attempting to. Heffalump almost gone here. And he takes another hit. But Whoopsie has almost reloaded. As long as Whoopsie makes sure this hit pans. And he does. He is still alive. Angie and AV3. Now. Facing off against each other. Whoopsie getting around. Angie basically just blocking all the possible shots. Taking the hits where he needs to. And allowing them. This is beautiful teamwork. Just the way that Angie is avoiding Whoopsie getting hit. Oh, he does get hit, but then it's Angie that takes him out. And Legion is going to be very happy they switched Angie in like that. Because that is epic. Beautiful gameplay overall. And again, it was close. 4 minutes. But that is the first matchup in favor of Legion. And just wow. These are the kind of games that I stream tournaments for. I love it when things are close like this. It's just epic. And overall, versus EG, it was closer. But this was, to be honest, Souls is a good clan, but I did expect this to be less close. And that is more because of the way that Legion has played so far. Raid taking it home versus Immor. Let's see how Veil is doing, because this is being streamed on the coin stream right now. They took it home versus Appa 4-2. So they also have a second point, and let's see what is going on with Loka. Oh! This I expected to be much closer. Because this is something... Loka is one of those clans, they have good days, they have less good days. And overall they've become a very strong team. But EG went to Twister last year and it is a very epic team as well. So I'm kind of surprised at that. But that only keeps things interesting, doesn't it? Just wow. And just to be fair guys, I honestly... By all means, moderate. But if someone keeps posting spoilers, you just hide them all together. And then they can't post in the chat anymore. And that is the price of spoilering. So that was a very, very beautiful game. All the matches are played now for the first round in 21 or 22-ish minutes. We get to see the second thing. So I'm going to take you up and over a... replay now, and I have a replay by none other than our very own Rolling Swarm. So let's see. He actually told me a little bit about this match and I'm very curious what will happen. It will happen if the game actually loads it. There we go. Now, we all know that Rolling Swarm actually quit streaming and started streaming the tournaments and everything, and partly to do with the ATGMs and a lot to do with Wargaming's communication or lack thereof, and basically slamming the door in his face, telling them they wouldn't discuss the ATGMs with him anymore. And that for me is still something that is just bad. I understand that you don't like to hear the same thing over again, but the problem is that Wargaming does not see the issues with the ATGM that we see. And that's because the numbers don't really support it, because they're the most play tanks and everything. But that does not make them okay, and we've seen multiple occasions in the tournaments today already where I'm like, yeah, this should be in the game. There was a shot on Castilla earlier today on the Aces server where a guy shot a missile, literally missed the tank in front of him. The missile shot up in the air, looped around and killed him. After all, it was just nuts. That kind of stuff should not happen. So let's see, all of the enemy team is over there. It's very helpful when they're like that, allowing for some nice shots there. T62 is pretty much one of my more favorite tanks. Actually really like it. especially since the gun depression has been buffed and everything. It is a pretty versatile tank. It's not as much of a brawler as the 140 in my opinion, but it is a really, really good tank. Some cheeky shots here. Not enough patience into actually making them. But still, I'm not too worried. Of course, it helps that I know the result of this game, to be fair, but yeah. But this is something... It is not camping what he's doing, but it is tricky. Mainly because of the fact that... Oof, that would have been a very nice shot. Because he's in a position where he is getting shots in, not necessarily the damage because he's missed a few shots, but... He is in a tricky position. If he moves in, he's basically forfeiting his life. And if he doesn't move in, his team is sadly getting murdered. Now that is a nice tank to take out. The T-54 is making this very easy. And it's the next one. So now it is 3 versus 4. And he just has to be a little bit careful. There you go. These are the kind of shots that you need to be map aware about. You also need the sniper mode to make shots like this. To see literally what you can shoot and what you can't shoot. And then you can get hits like that, and that is just beautiful. I like it. And let's see. He is putting back into the desert, expecting to be alone soon. And that is a good decision, because this is the thing. In the desert, he will have the advantage. IS-8 is not coming to help the 215B, and that might have made all the difference if he had. And this also, tracking shots are so important. Because you literally stop your enemy. And at this stage, he might take a shot. He actually misses that. But he does not keep circling. In this case, I probably would have. Because he's going to have to take a hit here. At the same time, he's now in a Kolobanov situation. With a very easy to kill Jagdtiger if he gets a shot in. He does take a hit there. And he activates his adrenaline, which is a good call. Oof, that bounced though. That bounced though, just differently. In this case, heat is the way to go. This is something that a lot of people don't do. If you can secure a kill. Oh god, the Jagdtiger, poor thing. If you can secure a kill by using Premo or by using HE. Well, not actually HE. If you can secure a kill using Premo, do it. Because the whole thing is that you might do a little bit less damage per shot, but if you can make sure that you actually pen that shot, it is so important. And kill shots are the most important shots in the game. This is basically the battle with an IS-8, so I wouldn't be too worried about this. He is still being very careful. I probably would have just gone pretty much YOLO and circled him and everything. Mainly because it is an IS-8, and though I love the IS-8, it is not all that competitive, especially not against a tier 10 heavy. Especially not when that tier 10 heavy is driven by someone like Rolling Swarm. T-57 heavy died very early in the game, but has stayed to watch the whole thing. And there we go. God, that IS-4 is mean. And that is just beautiful. Kolobanov, 581 damage. Lost credits, that basically means you did it right because you would have used your adrenaline, basically your consumables, your provisions and your Premo when you had to. 1898 base XP, that is saying something as well. 51 supremacy points as well. Love it. Oh, I'm not worried about Wargaming banning me. I'm allowed to basically share my opinion on the 80 gems as much as I want, as long as I do so politely, and that's always been the case. Now, the next one that I have was a game that Eggy is ashamed of because he said he was still clubbing. So let's have a look what happens in it. Because he's actually grinding the tank that is causing all the commotion. But it's just... I'm not in favor of tanks that are basically just ways to shoot people that are behind cover, that are angled perfectly and everything. Let's see what he does. Give it just that his head is hurting from cheering for both Legion. Nice shot. For both Legion and EG. Basically this year, more than previous years, I'm actually cheering for multiple teams as well. Veil, of course, one of my favorites. They're basically my boys, even though they're not my clan. And that has everything to do with most of them are RTK players, and I followed RTK for such a long time, and with good reason. I had a bit of a bounce there. And Legion is just completely epic this year, and I've actually we've sort of made amends for long times past, and I actually quite really like that, because that allows me to enjoy the way that their game in style, and just, you've seen them play today, they've been absolutely brilliant, and those are the kind of games that I absolutely love. And that is the same beauty that we see in EG's games as well, but also in Veil's games, or at least we saw them in RTK's, and Veil's is a little bit more this KV3 though. The continuous tracking. Eggy, you're just mean at this stage. But yeah, it's just, I love games like that. Just a beautiful tactical gameplay. And I'm not into the mass pushes and everything. I remember that a few years ago, the meta was basically push hard and you win. And though that is fun as well, it's just not much fun to look at. And now we have an IS-2 here, but he kind of wants the Bulldog more, I think. IS-Isu is not happy. I like this. Oh, this is beautiful. I like it. Especially now that the IS-2 is not looking in his direction. That allows him to get those shots in. And he can just keep tracking. You're doing a KV3 here, Eggy. You're such a mean guy. This is basically... He literally can't do anything. He just sadly get killed. And the other Bulldog actually steals the kill, which is just mean. But just look at the way this has gone so far. I feel really bad for them. Dude, really? And he got lucky he did not get shot there. The other Bulldog is too eager here. So he's being careful here, letting the Helsing get taken away. This is the thing though, if they're standing still like that, it is a tricky tank to hit though. And now he kind of has to get in if he wants to do the damage. He has 20 heat shields left, so that is plenty of heat. The YOLO Bulldog kind of wants to some help here. And Aggie is just going in, missing by a mile there. Again going for the tracking. Dude, you're such a bully. But he can't move at this stage. And when the turret gets close... No, let's just go for the other wheel then, eh? I understand what you mean with seal clubbing now, to be fair. My god, what a game. That is a nice mastery with 1650 basic speed, 5k damage and some very mean tracking. Let's actually have a look if he got assisted damage there. No, but just... It is so mean though, when you track them repeatedly like that. Oh, that was lovely though. So that is another game, but in less than 5 minutes, well actually in I think 4 minutes, the room invite will be up, so that means that I cannot show you another replay. We'll just have to hang out in my garage a little bit. Basically, I'm not sure what to talk about at this stage. We talked about my favorite teams. And that is kind of the thing though. Of course, all the teams that have made it to this stage are like proper teams. Except for maybe the way that Raid got themselves here. They have always been a very good team, but they've not been a classy team this season, and that is something I very much dislike. But yeah, while we wait, let's have a quick look at what is all in the store. We have useless stuff, more useless stuff. We have 5 tanks. Which, well actually no, 4 tanks. No, 5 tanks. Why are there only listed 4? Because you have the Cromwell, you have the Victory, and the Isu is not listed in this line, but yeah, it is here though. And it's a pretty good bundle, because it's like 3k gold per tank, which is not that bad. It's a lot of gold though, and not all the tanks are good. Not sure what happened there. I love the Victory, I love the Rudy, I love the Cromwell B. I not quite like this one, I don't quite like that one. But you also get the equipment slots, the garage slots, the legendary camouflages for 2 of the vehicles, not even all of them. It's kind of sad. Well, the Victory has its standard, I think it doesn't exist without it, and not sure about... I think that's probably it. These 3 tanks probably don't exist without the camo. Let's have a quick look, because I should have them. I don't even have... Oh, wait. It helps if I take this away. No, you actually do have to buy that. And then you had the Victory. I actually have a seasonal on that. That it comes with the camo standard. This was one of the first tanks that I had. Premium tanks. And it reminded me of a piece of candy. And I think I bought it for a few other people as well. Because at that time, tanks were actually still cheap. And what hit the store was actually good value. And that is something that is quite different now. I'm going to go back to this. The reason I have this selected is sort of in a way of protest, because this shouldn't be in the game. The tank, yes. By all means, keep the tank. Just remove the missiles. Give it a normal gun with normal camo. In the meantime, I see that Tony has just entered the chat. Hey Tony! And we'll have to see how that goes. In about a minute we will get the room invite. So I'll just have to wait a little bit until that is the case. This is basically always the boring part. Basically, I don't want to risk missing anything, so I never go into a replay or anything like that when I know that there's going to be a room invite within the max time of 7 minutes that a match can last, just in case something goes wrong, because I always want to avoid that. But yeah, what else have we got in the store? Yeah, these two, of course. T55A, it is a nice tank, but if you have the T54, you won't miss out much if you don't get it. The T54 first prototype is great fun, though. Well, both of them are fun, but like T55A is less competitive for its tier. And there is a room invite, and we are going to go to Immor versus Veil. And Immor is completely ready. We see some Mac guys there, though. And we'll see what happens. In 4.5 minutes, we are going to go to Castilla, my least favorite map of the whole game. This is the map. You have 3 bases. Base A, the wet base. Base B in the middle. And base C, that is mostly ignored because it is so open. There's camping lines on both sides of this map around the spawn area. And that is kind of what causes a stalemate gaming, because people know where they can get shot from and generally don't venture into those spots. Which means that both teams pretty much stick to their own sides and don't really want to move in. So, I'm not particularly a fan of this map. So, yeah. And don't bully Darth for anything. Just so you know. So, let's take away that map. Overall, I expect more A and B action than I expect C action. At the same time, we've seen one of the best games today that I've seen was on the Asia server, and it was on Castilla. And you had one Sheridan that was... actually, I'm going to grab the map real quick. In the red spawn, you have like the building on the right side, and there's a little hill there. We had a Sheridan there from one team, and 2 Sheridans from the other team came around, and as the Sheridan was like, nope, I'm gonna get out of here, he ran through the red spawn all the way to the other side and basically got murdered by 2 Sheridans in his ass. And it was beautiful to see. This was followed by an instant ammo rack on the other side of the battlefield, which was like, just what? It was one of the most epic matches I've seen, which is... It was kind of mean to Feast, because Feast was on the receiving end of this. Both the ammo rack and the Sheridan butt hit. But it was just a beautiful game. And 2.5 minutes left before we go into the matchup. We have Veil that has completely readied up in a Sheridan, an STB, 3 IS-4s, a Hori and a Batchat. Hori, interesting choice of tank. It is relatively mobile. It is relatively troll armored. But it's always interesting to see what they do with TDs, because TDs are a bit of a risk. They always are, because they don't have a turret. They are less capable of defending themselves generally in matches like this, because everyone that you meet will know exactly how to work. And Immor is now completely ready in 3 IS-4s, a 268, a T22 medium, and 2 AMX-50Bs. Clippers, again, like TDs, it is always a risk, because if they do not pen the shots that they have, not pen all the shells, they are in a bit of trouble. Because they will have to reload their whole clip in order to basically be able to shoot at people again. 1.5 minutes left to go. And then we'll see what happens. I'm just seeing someone say, "Hola, I can't wait for the stream later tonight." I will not be streaming NA tonight. And that has everything to do with NA being at 3 AM and my having to work tomorrow. So because the streams are actually on Sunday rather than Saturday, I will not be streaming NA. I will be streaming them next weekend when the matches are on Saturdays again, because that means I can sleep late on Sunday. And for the finals I actually took days off work, so then I can stream that too. But yeah, for now, that is not possible. There's only so many days I can take off to stream tournaments. 40 seconds left to go before we go into the game. And we'll see how that will go. Castilla so far has led to some of the most stalemate games I've ever seen, which is pretty much the reason why I don't like the map at all. But we'll see. Hopefully we'll see some nice action. And in 20 seconds we are going to go into the game. And we'll finally see. I kind of wonder where the Hori is going to go, because he can go pretty much anywhere. It is a pretty mobile tank, and it is a tank that you don't really expect to be in your face, but you can't handle it. But with situations like this, in tournament battles like this, usually TDs stay more at the back. And here we go. That is a funky avatar that Track Thor has. And let's go up and away. And we have most of Immor focusing on the base A side. And most of Vil doing the same thing. Zerd in the Sheridan. Rushing up and over. Potentially going to meet Ghostly here. But I think he's mainly waiting there. He's firing a shot actually, but that didn't pen. The Ice Fools are also coming. Ghostly has not been spotted, but now he is capping. And we have Gassio in position to decap. No, but they're actually focusing on the AMXs. And Klepka is going down, literally down. And now they have base A. And Ghostly survives that without taking a single hit. Yuri at the back does take a hit though. And now base C is being capped, which could potentially be tricky because now Wise is going to be facing off against 3 IS-4s. He's not been... At this stage, Wise is like, yeah, let's not be here. And he's getting the blip out of there. Whereas Dymac is immediately getting shot by both the Hori and Shapey. And now basically Immor is stuck in some places. And basically Immor has now pulled back towards this side of the map, which means that base A is unattended, but Vil does not know that yet. Let's see. Shapey taking a bit of a hit there. Oh, that hit though! That missile hit. That is just evil. AMXs are now going after Shapey. Shapey needs to not be there. Base A has been stolen. Base C has been has been capped. But Immor has quite a bit HP, quite a big whatchamacallit, point advantage here. So Vil will need to do something. Shapey in trouble. And we have Kirovets and Yori shooting the 268. Oof, that is some massive hits there. But they kind of have to be careful for that as well, because those AMXs could peek around the corner. Basically, Immor is in not the best of positions. Dimebag losing more and more HP. And there he goes. Yori takes him out. And now we have the Ghostly here. They have the AMXs. The AMXs are going after Yori, which is fully understandable, but Mac is also gone first. Kirovets not looking to help, but look at the hits getting in the rear of the AMXs. And the AMXs are being taken out skillfully and effectively. Shapey is not going to survive this. But it is 5 versus 3. And the focus fire here is beautiful. And look at the shots that Mo is getting in here. Or potentially getting in. That is just beautiful. There goes the 268. And now it's just these two versus 5 guns. And it is Mo through a building gap here that takes him out. And now we only have Track Thor that is left versus 4 guns. Mo, well, 5 guns, sorry. Mo is turning around, takes another hit, and it is Wiser that got basically spotted by so many IS-4s. Wiser and Zerd share a little bit of a hug and bro moment there. But that is awesome. What a game. 4 minutes. This is basically the Veil that I like. They don't always have days like this though, recently. They've had some off days, but this is basically the calling, the rotating, the focus fire as well that I like. 1.5 minutes left to go before we go into the game. And we'll see what will happen that much, that is. Again, it is the best of 7, so anything can happen. And we have Veil that has readied up in a Sheridan, 2 113s, 2 IS4s, the Hori and the Batchat. And they're going to go up against potentially 3 IS4s, a 268, 2 T22 mediums and a 140. So basically Immor is leaving the Clippers behind, going for some more mobility. The 268 has been changed for a 113, so it's in a way a similar lineup. With 2 IS4s and 2 113s, but those... Oh! It is 3 113s now and 1 T22 medium less, and that might actually not work out for them, because T22 is of course very troll. That is one of the tanks that has been called pay to win for good reason. Because in tournaments it has a lot of effect, but you have to have been very lucky or spend a shit ton of money in order to get it. And that is basically what I have against the tank. I do love the tank itself, very glad that I have it, but it was expensive for me to get it as well. And here we go, countdown clock is beginning, we are ready to, has begun. I can't brain anymore, can't English. And we are going into the match right now. Let's see. Now we see that Shocky is also using quite a nice avatar. I always I always forget what you can get those kind of things for. I always use these special ones. And let's see. There we go. Into the game. And we have Veil completely focusing, actually mostly focusing on the base C side this time. Whereas Immor is going much more towards the base A side with a little bit into the camping spot. And Ghostly there to spot Zert, making a move up, getting spotted as he does, and not actually making the climb. But he does, well, there is a hit into Ghostly there. Kidovets and Shapey both moving in, not actually to cap, but to take out that gun. And look at, oh, look at this! Gassio losing HP there, he has to be careful. Weiser going into a different position to spot. Ghostly not going to survive this. And there he goes, that is the first gun out of the equation. Weiser driving through base B, not actually to cap it. Mo taking a position to defend base B. And Veil rotating back around. Zert arriving at the back of Immor. Taking a big hit into Combine there. Combine, I should say. And now this is basically a tricky situation, because we have Immor pushing on both sides. They have a gun disadvantage, but Yori is losing a bit of HP. Basically, it will be all about the focus fire. Congratulations has already been taken out now. And Mo is having a 140 behind him. Dimebag has been taken out. Mo is turning around, getting tracked, but gun-wise, this is definitely going in Veil's favor. And we have Mac, Shocky and Lalo left. And they're not going to survive much longer. There we go. Mo might not make it out alive either, with only 2 guns left on Immor's side. Yori not looking too good either, but there's way too many guns on Veil's side. And there we go. And now only Meister Klepka is left. And basically Zerd is going YOLO, which is, in this case, it's totally fine. Mo might actually not survive this. No, he does! And he actually gets the kill as well. Oh my god. And it's a 7-0. What a game. Quick game too. Very aggressive game. But this is beautiful. If you know that there's a tank there that is functioning as spotter, and you just go for him and you take him out. Yeah. So now we are going to New Bay, aka the donut map, the second map in this matchup. And this is what it looks like. You have 3 bases, base B and C close to their respective spawns, base B under the train tracks. I like this map in the ways that it has bridges and stuff, because that makes for more interesting gameplay. At the same time, I find the map way too small. So let's go back so that there's no map on the game just in case. I'm always like check, double check this, because I'm always afraid to leave a map on. And we have Phil ready up in a Sheridan, 2 IS4s, a 140, 2 E5s and a T62A. And they're going to go up against 2 mice, 3 IS4s, a T22 medium and 113. Again, early today we saw 2 very, very epic matches on New Bay on the Asia server. And it's actually worth a watch, because one of the teams took 7 IS4s, both games. And I'm not going to tell you what happened, but it's definitely worth a watch. So with 35 seconds left to go, both teams are completely ready. The only one that we are waiting for right now is the game itself, really. And we'll see what's happening. It is 2-0. There's no real pressure just yet. The first one to reach full victories is the one that takes it home tonight. And that will be this is the last matchup of the evening. And then I will be back on Thursday to stream the next one. And let's see, here we go! In the meantime, I hope you're all also supporting Fugit by watching his stream, getting some coins. I even have my iPad playing for coins. There's the giant donut. Praise be to the donut. This is something that's basically, this will always be the donut map, thanks to the games that I streamed with Legion on the Thursdays of the Ascent tournaments, because it was so funny. And here we go. Of course, now the fun is a lot less there, mainly because the gaming is a lot more serious at this stage. And we see that I always have to be careful with navigating through the buildings here, because it is very easy to get stuck on this map like that. Base C is being taken, base A is being taken, but View is not going to go for base B. I think they're waiting for Immor to drive into that. The mice are waiting at the back. Both teams have a base here. Elysium waiting. We see some lines of fire going on, trying to get you a better angle. Blind shots have been fired, but no one has been hurt yet. Zerd has been spotted. Zerd is basically always going more or less YOLO when it comes to tournament matches. But it kind of works out, because he's either spotting, or he's holding, or he's sacrificial lamb. And now Vil is capping base B as well. The Mets are going up the ramp. Zerd is hiding behind, basically ready to go whichever way he needs to go. Dimeback has been spotted and takes a bit of a hit there. And that was actually Zerd missing, I think. Dimeback is the odd one out now, getting shot from every which way now. And basically Vil just has to be careful not to overextend. They don't need to take any risks. They have 2 bases. They have an HP advantage, if very barely. But they've basically taken away the advantage from Immor that they had. Gessio running off now. And Vil moving in. Dimebag now preferred target. And now Zerd is going to potentially steal base C as well. Which is... well, he's currently ramming a wall, which is not very effective, but... base A is being stolen, base C is being stolen. Vil now, though, in a precarious position. We have Mo going after Dimebag. But not really going for it. Mo losing some HP there. And they kind of have to take the guns out. Congratulations, losing HP. We have the mouse and the IS-4s here. Basically being crossfired. Dimeback has been taken out by Weiser. There is basically a lot going on here. I can't show you everything. I'm trying to show you as much as I can. Mac Tonde. Almost gone. But Zerd going after congratulations. Who's also gone now. And basically Immor is losing a lot of guns. And I can't even show you all. Because actually the camera jumps me back up, which is very annoying. Elysium has been taken out. Mo has been taken out. Yuri is probably not going to... Kinovets. Look at that. Kinovets has some extra baggage here. Which is like... He's actually being tipped over. I'm sorry. I can't take that seriously. Oh my god. That game though. Oh my god. That was a nice head, Kinovets, but I think I like your regular turret better. But time and carry damage more on Veil's side than on Immor's. This was basically just Veil rotating around so nicely, grabbing those bases, being pretty much evil. And we might potentially get a 4-0 here, which could be a pretty big score for Veil. Because, well, it could actually work out with dealing with tiebreakers and everything, because so far we've seen some very interesting scores between matches and everything. So with just over 1 minute left to go, we are getting ready for the fourth match of this matchup, the second match on New Bay. And Immor has readied up in 2 mice, 3 IS-4s, a T-22 medium and an Object 140. And Veil has readied up in 2 113s, an IS-4, 2 E5s and 2 263s. That is an interesting choice. We've not seen the 263 that much so far. And let's see, 40 seconds left to go before we go into the game. And then we'll see what happens. Overall, pretty quick game so far though. I mean, we've had 3 games in 21 minutes. That is with 6 minutes of waiting time in between. So let's see, countdown clock is beginning now. And we go into the second match of the donut map. Praise be to the donut. And let's have a look. But basically this is what happened with the tunnel maps. If you move the camera too close to the actual tunnel and want to go under, it actually jumps you on top of it, which is the same what happened with the train tracks. So this is not really the easiest map to navigate with the camera. No. So let's see what happens. There is the giant donut. Praise be to the donut, as I said. And we have Immor focusing together, going towards base B. But not all of them moving. The T20, the Object 140 and T22 medium are waiting. Base C is being taken. Base A is being ignored by both teams. And basically Immor is playing a baiting game. And it might work out. Because in this case, Veil is actually playing a baiting game as well. And they will have a bit of a point advantage here. We see a blind shot being taken into the back there, but there's no one there. And the rest of Veil is waiting patiently, but not getting any targets. Immor is waiting as well. The mats at the back are not doing anything. And the E5s and the IS-4 are waiting. Some blind shots happening here and there, but there's no one actually there to be shot at. So no more damage having been done yet. And this is actually quite clever because both teams are expecting what the enemy team is doing. And now people are getting spotted. Gassio taking a bit of a forward position there, just to get some spots in, but they know where some of the tanks are. And Vil is patiently doing nothing. Wiser guarding the rear, but there's no one there. Dimebag wanting to see where they are. He's going into a side-scraping position, but he's side-scraping into a position where no one is, which is this lane. He's not able to see the others yet. So far we've had quite a few points just accumulating on both sides. And no one is there. Patient waiting positions on both sides. But pretty boring to watch as streamer. And as viewer, I believe as well. And now all of Vil has pulled back into their spawn. I'm not sure what they're going to be doing here. Immor is content to just wait it out. Dimebag is going back. And he might spot them, or at least spot that they're not there anymore. Because now he is moving in. And he's not seeing anyone. And now we have the 113s that are going up the ramp. Together with the 263s behind. Not spotting anyone. And everyone is invisible at this stage. And we have Wiser potentially going for base A. And there we go, base A being kept. And now we see a... Well, no, we don't see a reaction from Immor. Because they are still contently waiting. Dimebag has been spotted. And he will take some hits if he crosses over. Tonda taking some damage there. Yuri taking some damage back. And they don't really need to take any chance. They are dominating the A and C area. Now we have Combined that is crossing over, immediately getting hit. And now Vil will have to make a move. We are at 670 points now. Gassio taking hits. Like I said, base C is protected. We have two E5s at the back here. Oof, Tonda getting hit massively as he crosses over there. And the E5s are in pretty good position. They're in a position to protect C. But at the same time not take too much damage themselves. Kilovat's potentially not looking forward to carrying another mouse turret. Zerd moving to the back. The T22 medium and the Optic 140 now having pushed in. Stupid buildings. Zerd going after the mouse. 140 being absolutely massacred here. Wiser missing that shot. Kilovat's losing HP. Yuri not looking too healthy. Immor is pushing in. And we have Mo moving in. Wanting to help Zerd. And we have Yuri. There he takes out Ghosty. And now we have Klepka. That is going to be hammered as well. And Yuri is still alive. Immor is losing guns. And there we go, we are at 1k points and Vil takes it home with a 4-0 score. And this was one of the slowest games I've seen. Most tanks still alive actually. But this was very well played by Vil. I liked the way that they were just protecting both bases and Immor could not really push because they would have to had a massive push into those two E5s. And they weren't entirely certain where the rest of Vil was until it was too late. 5.5 minutes this game. 5k difference in damage between the teams. But like I said, lots of guns still alive. And that is a point for Vil. So let's have a quick look. I'm not going to wait for all the games because I have a feeling that they might be going on for quite a while still. And this is of course still going on Rip's stream. This is what we've just seen. I don't need to check that. But the game is actually derping on me, which is always very nice. There we go. Then we have Luca. How are you doing? They are going against Souls. And then we have EG versus Appa on every stream. And that is still going. So like I said, I'm not going to be waiting for that. By all means, check out the other streams. See how the teams are doing. It's been absolutely epic. The highlight of tonight, what I have to admit, was the extra head from Kirovets. So thank you all for the games. That was absolutely wonderful. And I'll see you all on Thursday with the next EU stream. So good night for now. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you all the players for the lovely gameplay that we've seen. And thank you all for watching and everything. And thank you to my lovely mod team for moderating the chat for me. Good night.